when encountering an animal, it's really important that you use the 10 steps to situational awareness in order to get a full picture of what is going on. And that picture will help you to think about the resources that you might need, the skill sets that you might need, and the people that are going to come to support you at the instant. Another factor in determining what agencies are required might be the actual task itself. What are we being asked to do? And for the Fire and Rescue Service, the traditional encounter with animals has been through an entrapment or an evacuation, taking an animal from a place of danger to a place of safety. For some agencies, the animal component may actually be the risk itself. They may have other priorities. For instance, an ambulance paramedic attempting to get into someone's home to assist a human casualty may be hindered by the presence of an animal. In these situations, a knowledge of animal behaviour, a knowledge of potential risks, and an understanding of key principles for managing that risk are essential in allowing agencies to carry out their operational role. Now, one of the fundamental aspects of incidents involving animals is never release an animal unless you've got a safe place prepared for it to go. It may be that the physical rescue of an animal is going to be carried out by another agency, but you may be called upon to support them in achieving their goals. For instance, a fire and rescue service may be called out to help another agency such as the RSPCA to gain access to a trapped animal via a ladder, for instance, or through using cutting equipment. But it's really important that even though you're not physically necessarily going to be touching the animal, that you have a good understanding of the animal's behavioural characteristics and the sorts of things that you as a responder need to be aware of to stay safe, but also to ensure that your actions aren't detrimental to the eventual outcome. National operational guidance for the Fire and Rescue Service talks about the delivery of first aid to pets in situations of emergency and trauma, where definitive veterinary care is not immediately available. What BARTA have done in recognition of this is to put together a working group of critical care experts from the veterinary world to help us to understand the parameters that we should work in and also the various levels of intervention that are possible. Now, the important thing to remember is that we are advocating that animal sees definitive veterinary care as soon as possible, and that should be factored into the plan. That corresponds with good welfare practices, the legal requirements, and the moral responsibility that we will have. On occasions, the task may actually be to support another veterinarian or welfare group in carrying out their role. And this may be to assist lifting a heavy animal, or it may be to help cut or remove something that's embedded in an animal. But remember, all the time that animal remains under the care of the professional, it's still incumbent upon us to understand the psychology of the situation and the associated risk factors. As an exercise, think about the various situations that you have attended where you have had to interact with an animal and the various tasks that were required.